Hey, JJ. Austin, from a kind of game management standpoint, has had a couple of really good games, like 14 assists, no turnovers last game. I think he had a 10 assist, zero turnover game, and then he's had some bad games where like you got equal turnovers to assists. Are you noticing something like what he did last game about when he's in command like that, and if that differs from the games where he hasn't had it as much?
Well, I think you have to be willing to live with some turnovers with Austin because he plays at a certain pace. And he's like LeBron, willing to make difficult and daring passes at times, and that's part of what makes those guys great shot creators. So there's not a noticeable difference in terms of, play style from him. There are certain teams, because he is our primary ball handler. There are certain teams that have guys that are disruptive, that pick them up full court, and I think the benefit of having Max now at times with that lineup, he can initiate some offense and then eventually get the play back to AR, ball back to AR, ball back to LeBron. So it's really a game by game thing, depending on the other team's personnel for both LeBron and Austin in terms of what type of pressure they're getting, and that can obviously lead to some turnovers.
Brooklyn could be a team that's a little harder to scout or prepare for, just the amount of guys and the differences in rotations. What stands out when you look at them, and you figure out who you're expecting to see in the lineup on that given night?
Yeah, I think it starts. It's one of those games that we mentioned this a number of times. It's one of those games where we can start our defensive possessions well and get back and get set and limit them in transition, and then limit their second chance points. They're one of the highest crash rate teams in the league, and got to do a good job of boxing out tonight. We really we want carryover from the other night. I thought our physicality, our cover mentality, all those things that we talk about was as good as we've had all season in the second half. And then defensively for them, they're a heavy switch team. So not getting stalled out by their switches, and just getting to the next action and using all of our screening options to try and get behind the defense, I think is going to be important.
Just two questions for you, actually, JJ. First one, I think it's been about 7 games since you guys have made the trade to send D'Lo to Brooklyn. You guys acquired DFS. Obviously, there's been the availability with certain guys been in and out. But just all process-wise, how have you felt about the offense in those 7 games across the last couple of weeks?
We've had some really good offensive games. We've had a couple of bad offensive halves. Since the Detroit game, we're 7th in the league in offense. So I feel good about where our offense is at right now.
And then I know you guys focus tonight on Brooklyn. Forgive me for asking about the following game, but that will be the first game between the Lakers and Clippers in their building since they moved there. You were part of the organization for a few years. How important do you think them having their own spot is, just for, I guess, their own culture, their own morale, just to be in their own arena?
Well, it helps with our scheduling. One less tenant, one less thing to worry about. I'm not worried about the Clippers right now.
You mentioned yesterday that you're going to give some look to some 2 big lineups as we move forward. Obviously, getting Jemison as one of the guys in the group. Is there any consideration when doing that to the idea that let's get accustomed to this in case we add personnel through the trade deadline that we get, and that personnel could be another center that we get comfortable playing with the group that we currently have, like running those sets?
No, I don't look at it at all that way at all. I think it's more just about what this team needs to be successful. Certainly want to, try to give AD a break at times, and again, our defense up until second half. Last game was just trending in the wrong direction, and Jackson getting back and being healthy. And I said the other night I thought that was his best game that he's had since he returned from injury. It's been a long time, obviously, since he felt that pop and that juice that he can provide, the activity and all that stuff. So excited to have that, and also excited to have some optionality with Trey and Christian.
JJ, I think pretty early in your tenure here, you said something along the lines that as a player, you were somebody who had to focus more on process than results, that was sort of necessary, maybe it being a shooter or whatever it is. How is this team at process versus results, and negative results dictating process and pushing guys away from process? Where are you guys at kind of in figuring that out?
It's hard. I think it's hard for players in general, not just our team. Miami the other night, for example, like our offense and our expected PPS versus their offense and their expected PPS, we should have been winning at halftime. You know what I mean? It's players don't want to hear that. So our process was actually pretty good offensively in the first half. You can't. It's hard to get like buy-in for that, and I think our team, when it goes back to the connectivity. When our team has remained connected amidst adversity, we've won some games. We've made some tough games recently, even the Houston game, into one possession games where we have a chance to tie or win. I think the process, in terms of embracing that, I would give that like a B for our team. We've got a ways to go, and frankly, for me as a coach, I'm probably a B too. I can live with certain results as long as the competitive spirit is there. I feel good about that, and you can build on that. Sometimes all of us can get a little deflated with results. That happens, and that's human nature.